Stocks trade higher with the advances far outstripping the declines. Real estate as well as metals lead on gains, while the consumer durables and FMCG drag today.
Strong investor appetite draws companies and investors to D Street. AB Capital floats a QIP. Sapphire Foods sees a block trade. City Union Bank and Navin Fluorine plan fundraisers in science. ARMSI and DLM floats an IPO, while BLS International eyes one for its arm.
REC tells CNBC-TV18 that the lender's assets under management can expand to 10 lakh crore rupees by 2030 on the back of growth in renewables as well as infra financing, while Bharat Dynamics expects to double its sales by FY 2027.
IMD and SkyMed tell CNBC-TV18 that the rainfall of the past few days and the coming few will ensure adequate water for sowing. This can be comforting for the agricultural sectors, with concerns mounting on delayed sowing.
And some important news for the investors and traders. Stock exchanges reschedule Bakri Eid holiday to 29th of June from earlier 28th of June, which is now turned into Thursday. So the Nifty June series will now expire tomorrow as opposed to Thursday earlier. Hello and welcome to Business Lunch. I'm Nisha Podar, and with me as always is my co-anchor Pavitra Parekh. So Pavitra, the biggest talking point right now is that we have a holiday on Thursday and not tomorrow. A lot of people were planning for tomorrow, but that clarity is of huge importance right now. So also the shift in the expiry dates, and one must take note of that. Looking at the market, well, it has bounced back and stable in the green side, but it's a very tight range in which Nifty 50 and the overall markets have really moved today. So at the moment, 18,730 levels, a little lower than what it opened for the day today, 0.2% up in trade. And actually all the indices are in tandem with each other with similar gains. Even Bank Nifty 0.2% up in trade, and mid caps also almost in line. Advanced decline ratio because of the broader market participation and markets seeing buying opportunity today and a bit of green on the screen. Well, advances far outpace the declines in terms of numbers. HDFC Life is really having a stupendous day, over 4.5% up in trade, and others like Bharti Airtel, Divi's Lab, Apollo Hospital, Tata Motors are some of the green ticks on my screen right now, Pavitra.
Oh, absolutely. Those are some of the top gainers on the Nifty. But, you know, if you take a look at the broader markets, the mid-cap index has pulled back quite a bit from the highs of the day. We've seen a near 80-point kind of slip from that level. The small cap still holding up. So it's around 0.5% higher for the small cap index, which is why you know, overall the breadth of the market still looks quite all right. In terms of sectors which are doing well today, it's really metals in the real estate pack. So a lot of the larger names, the likes of Tata Steel holding up. Some of them have actually slipped. So Ratnamani has slipped right now, but JSPL holding up at near 2% in terms of a gain. You have, Tata Steel, JSW, like I mentioned, doing well. A lot of the real estate stocks, actually all of them holding up quite well. So you have names like DLF, Macrotech, which is up 3.5%, Sobha, Godrej, all of these doing well. And then, there are a lot of stocks in news on the back of blocks once again. So names like Aavas Financiers, AB Capital, all of those also showing a good pop on the back of, that news that has come through. So that is what's happening in terms of the market action. We'll talk more about that. But first up, let's begin by focusing on some of these news, some of these stocks which are in news today. AB Capital, like I was telling you, is gaining in trade after the company has floated a QIP. So Abhishek joins us with the details on this one. Abhishek?
Well, as you mentioned, there is a fundraise of about 1,750 crore by Aditya Birla Capital via QIP. So the floor price is around rupees 176 per share, which is a discount of 3% to yesterday's closing price. Proceeds of the QIP will be used for capitalizing the company itself and its various arms like insurance, etc. So there has been a management change. Vishakha Mulya had become the CEO in June 2022. In the last 1 year, the stock has given a return of nearly 104%. The key segments which have performed in FY23 versus FY22 is the NBFC segment, housing segment and Aditya Birla Money. The weakness was seen in AMC business, which is almost flat, a decline of 0.6%, and in the health insurance business, wherein the decline is about 29.4%. Return on equity in FY23 has improved by 120 basis points versus FY22, so it's now at 11.5% when compared to 10.3% in FY22. So the process of improvement actually started in FY21 itself, and NBFC and housing finance segment are seeing the same growth rate this time around versus what they saw in FY21 as well. Back to you.
All right, thanks Abhishek for all those details. So that's the QIP coming in from Aditya Birla Capital. Now moving on to some important updates happening at Hindustan Unilever or HUL, where Rohit Java takes charge as the new MD and CEO of the company starting today. Now remember that he was the CEO designate and also the whole-time director since 1st of April, the beginning of this financial year. And Rohit Java joined the company as a management trainee in 1988 and was previously the chief of transformation for Unilever and the president for Unilever in South Asia. Now the challenges ahead for the new HUL MD and CEO will be inflation driving volumes higher, restoring also the gross margins for the company, and also scaling up acquisitions amongst many others. Today HUL is trading tepid, but entire FMCG pack is only right now a little bit of tepid in the trading day today, Pavitra.
That's perhaps because of the big sort of up move that we saw yesterday on the back, the monsoons, finally making their way to Maharashtra. But with that, let's actually move on and talk about REC, which is also the next stock on our radar. The stock has actually been doing very well, for the year, that is for 2023 so far, it's up 32%. And the company is now buzzing on news that they will be providing over 3,000 crores, 3,045 crores as financial assistance to Bangalore's Metro Rail Corporation. This is for their phase 2. So earlier we spoke with the company's chairman and managing director, Vivek Kumar Divangan. Listen in to what he had to tell us.
Last year, our net interest margin was about 3.38%, which is quite good as per industry standard. But however, 1/3 of our borrowings are at market floating interest rate. And as you are aware, the last year, this interest had gone up. That's why our net interest margin were affected. But going forward, now we expect that borrowing cost will go down and our net interest margin will improve. With regard to our asset under management, our total outstanding loan as on 31st March 2023 was about 4,35,000 crore, which was a significant improvement of 13% on year-on-year basis over the last year. And going forward, we are targeting to take up infrastructure projects as well as energy transition initiatives. And in the next 7 years, by the year 2030, we are targeting that our loan book will increase to about 10 lakh crore. In FY24, we are targeting that it will at least touch 4,80,000 crore.
All right, very positive commentary coming in from REC. With that, we'll slip into a short breather on Business Lunch. But when we return, we'll shift our focus to the monsoon and get you more on the other side on weather update and news developments. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch, and let's now bring you some important weather updates that we're tracking as well from across the country. The flood situation in Assam has eased a little bit as the incessant rains that we have been reporting, they seem to have slowed down in several regions. According to officials, there are currently no rivers overflowing in the state, so that comes as good news. And the number of districts affected has also dropped to 14. This is in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, in Rajasthan, however, some unfortunate news coming in. 4 people have lost their lives and several others have been injured as well due to some lightning strikes in parts of the state.
All right, and there's more news update coming in on the front of the weather, and the situation is also very tense in the state of Himachal Pradesh, where at least 6 people have lost their lives and over 200 are stranded after flooding as well as landslides there. In fact, staying with the monsoons in the country, well, let's listen in to what SkyMet's Mahesh Palawat told us earlier today on the monsoon trajectory going forward and also the sowing conditions in the country.
So we expect that rains will be very heavy over central parts of the country, particularly Vidarbha, Marathwada and parts of Madhya Pradesh, and East Rajasthan will also witness decent rainfall. Western parts of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, parts of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. These areas will be witnessing moderate to heavy showers. Moreover, the rain activities will be heavy over Konkan and Goa, including Mumbai and suburbs, for another 48 hours. Thereafter, rain activities will continue, but in lesser intensity. So we can say entire country is going to receive decent rainfall for at least first week of July. The El Nino impact will be seen by later part of July. Although sowing has been delayed by a week or two over many parts of the country, but yes, now it has picked up pace, and because the farmers were anticipating the decent rainfall, we have also predicted, IMD also predicted that rainfall will pick up after this first half of June over many parts of the country. Despite the delayed onset of monsoon has progressed very well in the last 2 to 3 days and covered most part of the country. And now rain will continue, so sowing will help. And we do not expect any crop damage in recent, next 15 to 20 days.
All right, that is SkyMet telling us that the monsoon seems to have really picked up pace and it is going to progress well over the next few days and weeks as well. But the monsoon has been delayed by 2 weeks, and that has led to prices of several vegetables, specifically tomatoes, really skyrocketing. So the highest selling price that we've seen has come in from Bengaluru, where the price was at over 100 rupees per kg. Then you also had prices in Uttar Pradesh which were at similar levels. Meanwhile, in Delhi, tomatoes are being sold at a price of 80 rupees per kg. And there is also a shortage of the vegetable in Maharashtra and some eastern states as well, such as Bengal and Orissa.
Oh, that's an essential food commodity there. And as we slip into a short breather on the show, let's also look at something very important. Well, period poverty or inaccessibility to sanitary products, toilets, hand washing facilities, as well as menstrual hygiene education puts the girls as well as women at risk of severe health issues and diseases. Now, News 18 Network as well as Reckitt, through their joint initiative Mission Swachhata or Pani, have been focusing on access to safe menstrual practices and also trying to bring in a change. Here's a special report.
Menstruation is a natural and fundamental aspect of a woman's life, and yet the lack of adequate menstrual hygiene facilities remains a significant challenge. The absence of proper menstrual hygiene facilities puts women's physical health at risk in multiple ways.
Starting from a simple thing that a dirty pad or maybe use of old rags or newspaper can lead to ascending infections into the vagina. And we are not just talking about the short-term problems, which means at that point of time she gets a vaginal infection. We are talking about the reproductive potential of that girl later on. In case she gets some infections, she's going to develop some adhesions, she will have chronic pain in the abdomen, she might have infertility, she might have ectopic pregnancy. So the ramification of a bad, or a compromised menstrual health could be many.
The absence of proper menstrual hygiene also poses significant barriers to education for girls.
I know of so many people, so many girls who don't go to the school because they are scared that where would they change, how would they get water, how would they wash their hands.
Lack of menstruation facilities is a pressing issue, and the need of the hour is to prioritize the provision of menstrual hygiene facilities.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch. A quick look at the market. And yes, the market has gained some more momentum in the last few minutes of trade. A lot of it is being contributed by the HDFC twins as well as Bharti Airtel. But Divi's, Apollo Hospitals also doing very well. And Bank Nifty giving that support, much needed support to Nifty 50. One counter which is doing exceptionally well after the SAT order is IFL Securities. Keep an eye on that. Now get you some global updates also coming in. Then the annual ECB forum on central banking has kicked off in Portugal. On the sidelines of the event, remember, CNBC's Annette Weisbach spoke to the Deputy Managing Director of IMF, Geeta Gopinathan, and asked her about the ECB tightening their rate hikes. Listen in to this conversation.
We have to recognize that we are in very uncertain times. We also have to recognize that central banks have done quite a bit. And the ECB has raised interest rates by 400 basis points, which is the most it's ever done. So there's quite a bit of tightening in the system that's coming through. But that said, we do think that they should continue tightening. And importantly, they should stay at the higher level for a while. Now, this is unlike, for instance, what several markets expect, which is that things are going to come down very quickly in terms of rates. I think they'll have to be on hold for much longer.
All right, that is the word coming in from Geeta Gopinathan. But with that, let's move on. And actually, as we wind down on this show, remember today is the occasion of World MSME Day as well. And Network 18 has launched a special campaign to celebrate the entrepreneurial journey of MSMEs, from embracing digitization and innovative technologies to defining the roadmap for India at 100. So watch this special. And thank you for tuning into Business Lunch. We have Midcap Radar up next.
This World MSME Day, celebrate the entrepreneurial journey of MSMEs, from embracing digitization and innovative technologies to defining the roadmap for India at 100. News 18 Network and Misho's one-of-a-kind partnership is uniting entrepreneurs and visionaries to accelerate the India MSME sector through dynamic fireside chats and panel discussions. And applaud exceptional sellers who are shaping a future-ready India. Mission to 100 million, presented by News 18 Network in collaboration with Misho.